The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the following program are not those of WHNZ AM, its staff, management, or parent company, iHeartMedia Incorporated.
It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Meloni.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. If you're catching me on the air for the first time, I invite you to tune in here weekdays at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, as this show is all about promoting business owners and entrepreneurs in and around the Tampa Bay region. I myself am a business owner, a realtor with Coldwell Banker, and been doing the show now for it's my fifth week here on the air as a full-time radio show host. I guess I would call myself a full-time radio show host now that I'm doing 5 days a week, I guess. I was doing a real estate show for a year and a half. People may remember me from the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show, but now it's all about the business owners and the entrepreneurs in and around the Tampa Bay region. And I got three great business owners in studio today. We'll be talking here in just a moment with Robin Lavich, president and founder of Surpass Your Goal, a coaching and teaching firm for business owners. And on the second part of the show, we're going to be hearing from expert contributor Jim Yeager of Yeager & Company, along with the very entertaining Charlie the Plumber, who joins us in studio as well. I want to invite you all over to my website, where you can find past shows of That Business Show, and also past shows of the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show for people interested in learning all about real estate. Just head over to TampaBayRadio.com, and on the show info tab, you'll see the most recent shows, and have an on-demand link as well for past shows of my business show. And then the JMRES link goes to all my Jamie Meloni Real Estate shows. Also, feel free to connect with me on all the social networking sites. I'm over on Facebook, facebook.com/That Business Show, and on Twitter under the handle Jamie_Meloni. And also, if you're a business owner out there in the Tampa Bay region and looking to grow and promote yourself on the airwaves, reach out to me. There's no charge to come in here and talk with me. I'm always looking for content, and love meeting interesting people in and around the Tampa Bay region. So shoot me an email, jamie@tampabayradio.com, and I'm happy to talk with you a little bit and prep you for a show, and come on in here and have some fun with it. And again, learn more about the show over at tampabayradio.com. Let's go ahead and bring on my first guest for the show. Robin Lavich is the owner of Surpass Your Goal, which provides coaching to a variety of businesses from realtors to financial planners, but specializes in coaching lawyers to taste victory. Robin has a rich background as a professor, mental health counselor, and marketing director. She holds a master's degree in psychology and a certification as a professional coach. Robin, welcome to the show today.
Thank you, Jamie. Nice to be here.
So tell me a little bit more about yourself and what Surpass Your Goal is.
So I started my coaching company almost 10 years ago, and my background, as you just stated, is in psychology, and I'm fascinated with pinpointing what are the characteristics that make people really successful, and then if you can identify those, how can you actually teach those so that people can achieve what they want to achieve?
I'm always interested in what makes people tick, too. I have a lot of self-help books and books by Napoleon Hill. And
I just read Think and Grow Rich, which is almost 100 years ago. Fabulous information.
Yeah, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I love that type of stuff, because I always wonder, where is the disconnect between the successful entrepreneur and the person who could care less? I don't understand it. I mean, why would you not want to elevate yourself to a position of success and stuff? So I always wonder where the disconnects are.
Do you know what I've drilled it down to?
What are your what do you see?
I think that if you had to just pinpoint one area, it's that not everybody realizes they have the choice to achieve what they want. Some people feel like they're stuck in what they have, and they almost become victims, and there's not much that they can do about it, and they don't realize that there are choices. You can achieve whatever you want. Yeah. And if you don't have that mindset, then you're stuck.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get in that comfort zone. I myself, coming out of high school, went to college, dropped out, ended up working in industry for 6 years in a 12-hour rotating shift position, and I got comfortable. I mean, it was $40,000 to $50,000 a year, and I worked for somebody else, but I got in that zone to where I just got comfortable.
Yeah.
And finally, it was always in the back of my head. I need to do more. I need to do more. And finally, in my mid-20s, I went back to school, got a degree in finance. got a real estate license and started selling real estate.
Right.
But so much of it, I think, has to do with the comfort zone, would you not say?
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about your program. Now, you have the Mind the Matters program. What is this?
I did. That's a program I created that, if anybody is familiar with DISC, is a personality profile. And MIND is an acronym that looks at 4 different personalities. So we've got M is the motivator, I is the investigator, N is the nurturer, and D is the director. And that program actually looks at helping people identify what their particular style is and then how to leverage their strengths so that they're not complacent, they're energized, they're motivated, and they have the insight to actually achieve what they want to achieve. So,
I am familiar with the DISC profile. I was talking with Steve Gavatorta just a few weeks ago. We had a pretty detailed conversation about the DISC profile. So this is the Mind That Matters. This is a profile piece that you've put together strictly based on your own assessments and your own background?
Correct. It has, with obviously my background, but the foundation is off of the DISC. So if you're familiar with the DISC, it will translate fairly easy. The reason why I created my own version is people don't often remember what a D is or what an I is, but when you say motivator or director, that sort of captures somebody's style in essence, and so it makes the language come alive. So when I work with companies, it's amazing to see people talk about it years later about how they see those characteristics in other people. And why that's important to me is a lot of times we try to make people be the way that we want them to be. I mean, it would be nice if we could actually achieve that, but we're going to get pretty frustrated if that's what we're trying to do. So my thing is, if we understand our style and we understand other people's styles, then we have an appreciation for what the differences are and what the strengths are, and it reduces conflict. People feel better about themselves, and they're able to navigate through the world in a much easier way. So,
yeah, when I was in a prior job, I remember taking the DISC profile, and I had like the most abnormal curve. Everything was low except the D, and I guess that's the dominant or whatever.
Yeah,
so nobody else had anything that looked anything like mine, at least within the group. So I mean, is this what would I be on your profile?
Director.
High director and
yeah.
stuff? Okay.
Yeah.
Now now in your intro, you say you work with lawyers a lot to taste victory. Tell me what that means exactly.
So I have this program, which is Mind That Matters. I also have another program called The Power of Persuasion, which looks at body language and how you communicate. So for attorneys, that's helpful, obviously, in the courtroom. It's helpful with their staff, even in terms of getting them to follow the legal advice, how to actually close a sale. And so that's what I work with attorneys on. But as a business coach, I take that information, and that's related to what their business plan is, what their cash flow is, how they hire, how they fire, all of that.
So are attorneys your primary clientele right now then, or would you work? But you work with all business owners.
I do.
Correct?
So I've worked with insurance agents, construction, realtors, which is kind of cool for me because I learned so much about the different businesses. But attorneys are kind of my sweet spot. The reason being is they spent so much time in school learning the legal piece, but not how to run a business.
Yeah.
So that's,
I've discussed that many times with people on this show. You know, like in the doctor space,
exactly.
in the lawyer space, even in the real estate space.
Yeah.
You're taught on how to run your craft, but you're not taught how to run your business. So, what's it like work with real estate agents versus the other groups? I want to hear your assessment on us realtors.
So, realtors tend to be motivator director styles, which means they're incredibly personable, easy to get along with. The motivator style is naturally very persuasive, and that does well for building relationships, and they get excited about a particular home, and they can actually sell it very easy like that. But the downside of that is they don't tend to like a lot of follow-through, and they may not be highly organized. They like to be more spontaneous.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Organization is definitely not a skill that the average real estate agent has. So what are some of the other aspects? I mean, how do we compare to like attorneys, for instance? Because we kind of get lumped into that space a little bit because we do, with contracts and everything. So we're kind of in that space. I think we're the only profession that's legally allowed to handle contracts, like an attorney and everything. So how do we compare in terms of realtors with attorneys in terms of mindset and habits?
So you got to break the attorneys down, because a family attorney and a PI attorney tend to be vastly different styles. So if you're dealing with an attorney that likes trial work, they're definitely high director because they like the confrontation, they like the challenge, and they want to win. But if you're dealing with an estate planning attorney, they like transactional contract type work. They like to do the wills. They like to do the probate. It's all about the details. They tend to be more investigator, which is very analytical systems thinkers. Family attorneys tend to have a little bit of a nurturer in them, so they're very they want to help people, and they're very compassionate. but they're much slower paced. Realtors tend to be very fast paced. They like to get things going. They like to make things happen. And family attorneys can be sometimes a little opposite of that. That's an overgeneralization, obviously, but if I had to classify them, those are some of the differences you'd see.
Now, how does your program work when you're hired? I mean, is there an initial assessment that you bring people in? And tell me a little bit more. Why does coaching work? So tell me about your program a little more.
So because I have a psychology background, I bring that element to my coaching, which makes it a little different from some other people. So the first thing I do when I meet with a client is I give them Mind That Matters, and they do the personality assessment. And that's for their benefit to learn about them. But what's really cool about that assessment is it has a 360 degree. So the client takes it, and then they send a link out to their spouse, their kids, their peers, their boss, their employees, and then they rate their style. And you can see, are they in tune with how other people actually perceive them? Is there a gap? And then based on their style, we identify what their strengths are. And then we create a plan. Maybe it's time management, maybe it's leadership development, but that's based off of what they're already naturally good at. I don't believe in wasting a lot of time and energy in trying to overcome weaknesses. You've got to grow and you've got to go outside your comfort zone, but you should be harnessing your strengths. So we build a plan based off that, which is the assessment. It's the first stage.
I bet you a lot of people are fearful of seeing the results from their peers, correct? I mean, you send this out to the spouses, the coworkers, things of that nature.
Well, so I had one woman who didn't want to do that, and you don't have to. Mm-hmm. But it's not a one style is better than another style. It's really just differences on how people perceive you. So if you can get past some of that little bit of feedback initially, it's incredibly valuable.
So what was your inspiration in starting your company? How did you become an entrepreneur in this space?
Well, so I spent many years in school getting a master's degree in research, and then I became a counselor, and I was working with foster care kids. That's my passion. And then I left that. I formed a company, had a partnership that kind of went sour, left that, and in my 30s, mid-30s, tried to figure out what do I want to be when I grow up, because I spent all this time in school,
right,
all this time running a business, and I couldn't see myself just going back to doing what I was already doing. And a bunch of people said to me, you should be a coach. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what that was. I thought I was going to pay a few $100, get a certification, and off I went. I didn't realize I was going to be back in school. And so it actually came to me when people said, that's what you need to do. Yeah. I researched it, and that was it.
It's another example of the business finds us. I've mentioned this
Absolutely.
A number of times on my show. Sort of like the business found me. I never grew up saying I wanted to, sell real estate.
Right.
I, just followed the path that was laid before me, and I ended up here. And never said I wanted to host a radio show. There's just certain doors open up, and you just got to hit the opportunities.
But what's so fascinating is if you look in hindsight, all of the different pieces, they actually all come together when you're doing what you need to be doing. And they might seem really divergent and not related, and then all of a sudden it all makes sense that, you would be where you are.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, great points there. Got to take a quick break. Currently talking with Robin Lavich. She is the founder of Surpass Your Goal here on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com. In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit AccessReverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit AccessReverse.com. NMLS number 4566. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours. Cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
This report is brought to you by Preparation H. Don't stand for hemorrhoids. Step up to Preparation H Relief with Power of 2. First, use Preparation H medicated wipes to clean and soothe. Then use Preparation H Maximum Strength Cream to relieve pain and burning. Use as directed.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
In Pasco County, we now have reports of a crash on 41 south of Hale Road at Bell Lake Road. Still have a serious crash in Polk County blocking northbound traffic on US 98 north of Parkview Place. And in Pinellas County, getting reports of a crash on Almerton near Ridge Road. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamston and Uterwick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
Partly cloudy, high 83. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 65. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, high 77.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Learn more about the show over at the website tampabayradio.com, and also please connect with me on all the social networking sites, including facebook.com/That Business Show. Also over on Twitter under the handle Jamie_Meloni. Currently talking with Robin Lavich. She is the coach and consultant and owner of Surpass Your Goal, a business she's been running for the past 9 years. So, Robin, tell me some success stories or some interesting things that you've come across, some interesting characters in your business. What can you share with us in this space? So
I have a client that I work with, but I work with several levels of the organization. So there's the CEO, there's the VPs, and then there's some of the key staff. And one of my most interesting things that came up is they wanted me to teach and coach one of the employees on strategic thinking. And I thought, how the heck do you teach strategic thinking? Mm-hmm. I mean, I know I can do that, but to create an outline that you can actually work with someone. And so I did a little bit of research, did a little bit of reading, and it was fascinating to me if you think about strategic planning. If I'm not a big chess player, but if you imagine that, most people think it's about having a plan. And it's really not. It's about thinking about the actions that you want to take, what the potential reactions will be, and then how to maneuver that. So one of the things I've been working on with a client is their recruitment strategies for generating business in a strategic way. And that's been really, really beneficial. And when people have clarity about what they want to do, they're excited. They get all kinds of breakthroughs. I've got another client who she was setting out her business to sell it as part of an exit strategy. But the word retirement, I think she just wasn't ready to hear that. So she kind of started sabotaging herself. And so we created a plan where she felt like there's luster back and she loves what she's doing. She can actually say the word retirement now. She's got an incredible game plan. And she has hit every single sales and business goal since she's come to, okay, this is what I'm actually working towards. And it's only been a couple of months. I love seeing how people can get the heck out of their own way and then hit it what that is that they want to hit.
Now, how does your program works in terms of the length of commitment? I mean, is this like a counseling session where you come whenever you're comfortable with? You have different programs that you take people through. How is the structure of your program work?
My model is somewhat based off of the counseling model, which is a weekly session, an hour, and then I give homework. So I want to make sure that the conversation continues. As involved as they are and engaged as they are with the homework, the quicker the results. It's a minimum of 3 months. It's just like anything, you want to form new habits, and that's when you'll start seeing really good results. Some clients I work with for 3 months, 4 months. There's no contract after that. Other clients I've worked with for 4 or 5 years. And instead of it being every week, we call it a pulse check, where maybe it's once a month or every couple of weeks just to test what's going on.
Where's the areas that you get the greatest resistance when you're coaching business owners, entrepreneurs, realtors, doctors, attorneys in that space? Where do you see the greatest resistance from people in your line of work? So
I'm very particular about the people that I work with, and that's because I want to make sure that they produce results. And the people that I'll refer elsewhere, number one, if they're know-it-alls, so they feel like they want me to they're going to tell me how to do it. There's not much I can do to actually help them get out of their way. The other barrier of resistance that I meet with people is they think I'm the cure-all, and I'm just going to wave a magic wand and everything's going to be fixed, and they don't actually have to do the work. I'm looking for people who have that willingness to look at themselves, do some reflection, and then put that into motion. And if they're not willing to do that, I can usually spot that pretty early on. There's a realtor that I worked with for a while, and they just kept sabotaging themselves, and that's not a good fit over time in working with coaches. Yeah,
I know plenty of realtors that sabotage themselves every single day in this business. So I definitely can feel you in that space. So why does coaching work? Should people consider this as a growth in their business, to grow in their business?
It's kind of like hiring a personal trainer, or if Tiger Woods has a coach. When you're absorbed, when you're involved in the day-to-day stuff, you have no objectivity. You have a hard time making decisions. What should you focus on? What should you actually prioritize? What's most important for you? Even sometimes gaining clarity about what do you want. And what a coach does is sifts through all that and helps you create what it is that you want, and then a plan on how to get from point A to point B. And if you're doing it yourself, the mind plays tricks on you. You con yourself into certain things. You let yourself off the hook. Having a coach gives you that accountability and that focus, and it's amazing how quickly the results are produced. Yeah,
I mean, I would say, having a mentor is something that really, gives you a second opinion on what you're doing. I mean, if you're trying to do everything yourself and you think that you're the eyes and ears or the end all of your business, you're missing out.
Absolutely.
So I see a lot of coaches in this space and everything. Why is coaching becoming so popular these days?
That's a good thing for me and a bad thing for me. The term coach, when I first started, people didn't know what that meant. And then all of a sudden it became a very trendy word, and people attached it to everything. So they were a nutritional coach, they were a financial coach. Anywhere they could put the word coach became popular. And it's a very neutral term. If you say counselor, that's threatening to people, but coach is really positive. And it's relatable in terms of the sports area.
But you just work with business owners. You're don't really in the self-help field necessarily, would you say?
I do.
Okay, so you do both?
They tend to blend, for me, because I don't. Some people do one or the other. I started off with a company. It was called Life Coaching. But I like the business arena, but I like applying the personal element to the business arena.
Because I know some mentors and some coaches that, when you're with them, it's all business. If you've got some relationship problems, they don't want to hear about that stuff.
Yeah, I do both. It's a definite crossover. We'd like to think that we compartmentalize our lives, but if you're having relationship problems, you're bringing that to work. Whether you think you are or not, you really are.
So what are the skills that people should be looking for in a coach, and what do you sell yourself on when you talk with potential clients?
Well, so the coaching industry is actually not regulated, which is why everybody can say they're a coach. And to determine a good coach or a bad coach is very hard to figure out. But the International Coach Federation is an accrediting body. So first thing you want to do is look at whether or not somebody's certified and have they actually gone through a coaching program, because there are specific skills that a coach needs to utilize to bring out the best in other people. I'd also look at one of the things that bothers me is somebody who doesn't have their stuff together and they want to coach other people. So if they're a business coach, is their business profitable? Are they doing a good job? Do they lead by example? That's another key component. And then do they live the principles? And I would just go with your gut. Sometimes people just give you a lot of fluffy, airy stuff, and can you measure it? Do you have testimonials? Can you talk about what you're actually going to be able to do to help somebody? Other than that, I would steer far away.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know there was an international coaching foundation.
Yeah.
30 seconds left. Robin, how can people get some more information about what you do?
You can find me on my website, surpassyourgoal.com. All the social media, I'm on Twitter, Robin Lavitch. Facebook, Robin Lavitch, Surpass Your Goal. Even if you just Google me, you'll find all my stuff there. And there's free information on if you want to do. You talked about Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich.
Yep.
Free assessment on my website.
Surpass Your Goal. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
I'm Joe. Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Offices Tampa.
Each franchise independently owned and operated.
Hey, Julie. Thanks for coming over.
Aw, thanks for inviting me. Wow, the place looks amazing. I love these window treatments.
Thanks. It's Budget Blind's exclusive new drapery line, Inspired Drapes.
They are really gorgeous. Can I have Budget Blind's number?
Sure. Call them today. They'll give you professional design advice on hundreds of fabrics and style options without interior designer fees. And they professionally measure and even install. You won't have to lift a finger.
Introducing Inspired Drapes, a Budget Blinds exclusive. Our gorgeous draperies and window fashions are like eye candy for your rooms. Be the first to see the new looks, new colors, new styles, even rugs and pillows that add the perfect finishing touches. Call 1-800-260-8939 now to set up your in-home consultation and be the first in your neighborhood to see our new collection. Call 1-800-260-8939.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
Hi, neighbor.
Mr. Rogers passed along friendship, hoping we would too. Friendship, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
There is still a serious crash in Polk County on US 98 northbound north of Parkview Place. In Pasco County, we have a crash causing delays on 41 at Bell Lake Road. And in Pinellas County, watch out for a crash reported on Ulmerton near Ridge Road. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterwick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
1250 winds, Weather Center forecast. A bit more cloud cover than the past few days, and 10% chance of a shower today. 80, some low 80s for the high, and tonight's lows into the mid-60s. Impact Radio, 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Catch the show on here weekdays at 8 a.m. on 1250 WHNZ, and also head over to my website to learn more and catch all of my show recaps and past shows. And also, you'll find all of my property listings, as I am a real estate agent over at Coldwell Banker, specializing in the sale of bank-owned properties. And you'll catch all of, at least most of my pre-listed properties on the website as well, over at TampaBayRadio.com. If you're just tuning in, we were just talking on the first part of the show with Robin Lavitch. She was the president and founder of Surpass Your Goal. And now it's time for the weekly Remodelers Corner segment with Jim Yeager of Yeager & Company, and he's also joined in studio with Charlie Paolavita. Jim Yeager has 42 years of experience in floor covering and home remodeling, and Yeager & Company is celebrating its founding 70 years later, and it appears in multiple categories for the past 7 years by Angie's List Super Service Award. Jim, Charlie, welcome to the show today.
Good morning,
Good morning, Jamie.
Charlie, you're always the chipper guy in the morning here. You put up some flags for us, got us all decorated up. So appreciate you bringing some, enthusiasm to the show and everything. So.
Well, you're welcome, Jamie. I like to get the day started right, and I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for another day, and I'd like to say the Pledge of Allegiance because I'm very patriotic. I love this country, and I'll start off. I pledge allegiance to this flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You don't hear that too much anymore.
No.
I remember when in school we said that every single morning.
We did it every morning. We sang the national anthem, and we said the Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. You know what? And that's the problem with our country now. People need to get back to family values. They need to get down on their knees and pray and thank the Lord for another day. You know what, brother, it's not the same country I grew up in, and it's not for the better, but you know what, still the greatest country on God's green earth. And after this next 2 years, I think it's going to get better.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And I know you and Jim both military service members in the Marine Corps. So I always thank military service members for the service to our country. It's one of my regrets never actually getting into the military. I looked into it in high school, took that ASVAB test, met with the recruiter. But at the end of the day, I fear commitment. And I knew I'd get in there, and he would start yelling at me, and I'd get mad. I'm like, F you, man. I'm out of here, man. So I just couldn't do that. That was what stopped me. I was just so a fear of commitment. That's also, I guess, why I'm single to this day. I fear of commitment. I got a girl wants to get married. I'm like, I don't know about that. But thank you very much for your services.
Well, I really appreciate that, and God bless all of our veterans. I'd like to say Semper Fidelis to our extended Marine Corps family out there. If people don't know what Semper Fidelis means, it means always faithful, and that's the Marine Corps motto. And we take that to heart. And like they say, once a Marine, always a Marine, as we've been instructed by our drill instructors. And they would not lie to us. And, I am hey, you know what? I love the Marine Corps more now than ever. And like I tell people, you know what? If the Marine Corps needs a plumber that can shoot, they can always call me back. Hoorah.
So, Jim, Charlie, what's been going on this week? You're telling me you all had a little situation last night at the house.
We got last night, got home, and some problems with some backed up drains, some really black tar coming up out of the stationary tub in the laundry room. The wife called and said, we got a big problem. And even being in the construction business, most of my 40 years are in flooring. Last 10 years, a lot more for construction. Of course, we have all the construction gurus at our office. We have four general contractors, employees. So for the sake of construction, my knowledge is somewhat limited in the area of plumbing. And the leak situation, we called Charlie last night. Charlie said, not a problem. Let me get Alan. We'll get over there maybe within the hour. Dark 30, Charlie shows up and saves the day there. They get up on the roof, which I found quite interesting, too, because we weren't sure. I thought it was a septic system. Charlie was able to analyze it in just, real short time. We've only been on septic. We bought a house and remodeled it a couple of years ago. And so the well and the septic have been a learning experience. I thought I knew everything I needed to know with that. But Charlie was able to snake the Schluter.
It was the roof vent.
The roof vent, yeah.
And what happens over a period of years, Jim, yours is very typical. After 20, 30 years, you get a buildup into the pipes. It's kind of like our arteries getting clogged up with the cholesterol, so on and so forth. It's that type of analogy. It gets so blocked up to where you have to run the snake through there and mechanically clean it out. But there was such a buildup. There was a complete stoppage. It was going from his kitchen sink backing up into his laundry sink, and was just looked like black tar. And it's just a matter of grease, stuff that comes off your hands. Whatever you put down the drain. You use your garbage disposal. If you don't flush enough water through it, you can have problems with that aspect as well. A lot of people, I think that's the biggest problem with disposals. People don't flush enough water. When they grind the whatever they're grinding down the disposal, and that's always good for a service call, so it keeps us plumbers in business. So,
where did you learn the plumbing trade? Coming out of the military, and you had to get a job, and you start taught yourself. How'd you get into in that space?
No, I did it with my father, second generation plumber. I got two other brothers who are master plumbers, a brother-in-law that's a master plumber. It's a family tradition. I did plumbing before I went in the Marine Corps. I did plumbing when I got out. I actually did some wrestling too, as you know.
We talk about people listening to you can hear that wrestler voice in inside you there and stuff. So had a pretty good conversation about the wrestling business with you a couple weeks ago. So
you know what? That's my type personality. Always been that way. For good or bad. They say people with A-type personalities have more heart attacks. So that's why I do more cardiovascular. I work out at the gym. I've always been competitive, even before I went in the Marine Corps, but that really brought it out in me. And when I did the wrestle, I mean, I could tell you a wrestling story. I don't know if you have time for it.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear it. I love the stories.
Like I said, that was like one of the most fun things I did in my life, getting in front of a crowd of people and putting on a good show. And sometimes we didn't put on a good show, and that you know, we've had a lot of matches like that too, and that's not too much fun. But we'd been wrestling down here for some years. We were the Florida Tag Champs, me and my partner. So we decided to go up to Tennessee.
Who was your partner? Who was the partner?
Kenny Kyle. And hey, Kenny, give me a shout out, brother. Love you, man. And he's still all big and buff, and he works out all the time. And so I try to work out to keep up with him. But anyway, we were doing real well wrestling the Nasty Boys down here, Mike Graham, Steve Kerr, and a host of other guys that are all up in there in the WWE right now. Well, anyway, we decided to go to Tennessee, where wrestle up there with Jeff Jarrett and his father. They had an organization, the USWA, and they had all the superstars go through there at one time or another. Even Vince McMahon did some things with them also. Well, anyway, we were the new tag team up there, and we just got into town, and we heard a lot of things about this territory. They had a notorious tag team up there called the Moondogs, Moondog Spot, Moondog Cujo. There was many other Moondogs, but these guys were big burly guys with a nasty attitude, and they were actually the WWF tag team champs for a while too. But you know, they were older veterans, and so we just got into town. We were going to do a TV taping, and me and my partner in the back were getting dressed out, and the TV matches were already underway. And then we seen this one guy come back in the dressing room right out of the ring. He's bleeding all over his back. And I'm thinking, what the heck's going on? I said, what happened to you? He said, oh, one of the Moondogs just beat me with a steel chair. I'm thinking, what? I mean, he had lacerations on his back, and this was a shoot.
That was a shoot style. I was going to say, that's shoot style. For people who don't know that term, that means it's real.
I said, this is crazy, but I didn't put it that politely. You know, I'm over there just like, wow, man, you know, what do we got ourselves in for? You know, we'd already been wrestling for years, and we've wrestled with other top superstars, and I've never seen anybody do that to another wrestler. I mean, you know, you see some crazy things, don't get me wrong, but I started thinking, anyway, so we got on, we did our thing, and we did our TV match, and so the next night we were wrestling. It might have been Nashville, and one of the big places over there, and we had all the matches set up, and they had like a battle royal type match going on, where every 2 minutes a tag team would go into the ring. And so me and my partner, our number was called, so we went out into the ring, and the ring had probably about 12, 14 wrestlers in there already, and you know, you go in there and you try to find somebody to start beating on, or start lock up with, whatever. And I'm in there, we're just doing our thing, and all of a sudden I hear this loud bam! It sounded like a shotgun going off. This guy clocked me from behind with a steel chair. He hit me so hard, I swear to God, it sounded like a 12-gauge shotgun going off right in my ear. And I went down to one knee. I rolled outside the ring, holding the back of my head, and I'm going, crap! and I could feel my head swelling up. I must have had a concussion at that time. And I look up, I see Moondog Spot holding this steel chair. And by that time, my partner's going over the top rope. And so that's it for us for the night. We were going back to the dressing room. And at that time, there was two referees in the ring, by the way, too, because there were so many wrestlers in the ring. They were trying to keep it somewhat civil, but it was anything but a wrestling match, because there was doors in there, boards, there was foreign objects, there was chairs. Well, anyway, I'm cussing all the way back to the dressing room. I'm pissed, because this guy, he hurt me. I mean, my head's swelling up, and I'm not happy at all. And I'm cussing, kicking stuff. Anyway, we just got out of the shower, and one of the referees came back there that was in the ring, because by that time it was just Jerry Lawler and Jeff Jarrett and the Moondogs in the ring. That was the finish. And anyway, the referee comes back there laughing. Ha, ha, ha. One of them Moondogs just plastered one of you boys. He's laughing about it. And I'm over there yelling and screaming and going, yeah, Yeah, you watch and see. One of these days, somebody's gonna get even with that guy. He says, I'm saying this. I don't know if it's gonna be me or what, but one of these days, somebody's gonna get even with him. And I was livid. I mean, I'm livid right now thinking about it. Well, anyway, the next night we had the same type of match. This was at the Memphis Coliseum. It was another big place, and I told my partner, because I stayed up all night thinking how I'm going to get back at this guy, because I was going to beat him up in the locker room. But I started thinking, well, you know what I want to do to this guy, they're going to put me in jail for. And so anyway, I started thinking, well, I'm just going to do it in the ring, because things happen in the ring. And so that night before the match, when we got dressed out, I taped my fist up, because I'd been boxing. I've done the PKA and the MMA type matches. And I was a fighter all my life. My first match was when I was 6 years old in first grade. Well, anyway, taped my fist up just like a boxer does, and it was as hard as a brick. And I put a leather glove over it, because we wore leather gloves in the ring. It was part of our shtick, part of our gimmick. Well, anyway, I told my partner what I'm going to do to this guy. And, well, anyway, when our number was called, we're getting ready to get into the ring, and this guy had a board in his hand, the same guy that plastered me with the chair. And I'm thinking, hey, Kenny, this guy's he's gonna plaster me with this board. I want to be real careful when I get into the ring. So anyway, he's working a guy in the corner, and he has his back to me. Now, I went up to him before he saw me, and I grabbed him by his shoulder, and he turns around and looks at me square in the eye, and I give him a right cross right to his face. Bam! I plaster him. He goes down to one knee. I'm holding him by his long, blonde, nasty, dirty, filthy hair and just plaster him in the face. I must have hit him 20 or 30 times in the face as fast and as hard as I could, because I'm pissed. I'm livid. And Jerry Lawler's in the ring with Jeff Jarrett and a bunch of the other guys, and Moondog's partner, and he yells over there. He said, hey, that effer's crazy. I mean, he says, he's crazy. He says, go help your partner. I mean, I heard this in the ring plain as day. I know the fans could probably hear it too. And so anyway, by that time, his eyes hanging out of the side of his face. I broke his orbital socket. Oh, I mean, what I did to him, I would have been put in jail for if I did this in the locker room. Well, anyway, my partner at that time, I told him, when we do this, we're going to head back to the locker room and we're going to call it a night. We're out of here, because we're not, we're going to go back to Tampa and wrestle for Gordon Soley. And so anyway, I jumped outside the ring. And I picked up a board, because I'm thinking, his partner's, this 6'4", 300-pound guy is going to come after me. Well, anyway, Jeff Jarrett was on the ring apron right in front of me, and I didn't have any beef with Jeff Jarrett. And he jumps down right in front of me. I mean, I could have cracked his skull open, but I had no problems with Jeff. And well, anyway, I turn around to the side. The Moondog's partner's running around the ring apron with a steel chair in his hands coming towards me, and Jeff Jarrett grabs me from behind to hold me. And so I did a reversal on him and pushed him to the side and ran back to the dressing room where my partner was supposed to meet me. Well, anyway, Eric Embry had I saw this before the match, he had a cut-off pool stick in his bag. It was a club. I went over his bag, I pulled it out of there thinking, if the wrong person comes around here, I got something. Because I'm thinking there's going to be 10 guys coming back here to get me, right? And, anywho, I'm waiting. I'm thinking, they're killing Kenny. Because he was supposed to be back there. So I'm getting ready to run back out there to see what I could do to save my partner. Well, anyway, just about that time, somebody comes running around the corner. Thank God it was my partner, Kenny. And I looked at his forearm. He's bleeding down his forearm. I says, what the hell happened to you? Jerry Lawler took a board and went to crack his head open, because he seen what I was doing to the guys that were supposed to be in the finish with, the Moondogs. And he took that board and was going to crack his head open. Kenny put his arm up to block it from being hit in the head, and the board actually lacerated his forearm. Well, anyway, I got something against Jerry Lawler now, too.
Hold that point real quick, Jerry. I got to take a quick break. Coming back from the break, we'll hear a little bit more with Charlie. I got to cut you off there, man. You're just going to keep on going, man. Wish we had a couple hours here to go, man. It's good stuff.
Story?
Yeah, just a moment. Got to take a quick break on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com. In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit AccessReverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit AccessReverse.com. NMLS number 4566. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
She didn't just visit the sick and poor. She moved in with them because they needed help. Mother Teresa couldn't do it all, but she gave her all. Compassion. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
In Lakeland, we still have a serious crash reported on US 98 northbound, north of Parkview Place near Tucker Street. Still have a crash in Pinellas County and Ulmerton near Ridge Road. And now we have reports of a crash on Gibsonton Drive near I-75. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterwick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
Partly cloudy, high 83. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 65. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, high 77.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Charlie, you're telling a great story there about your past in wrestling. So go ahead and let's wrap this up. We've got a few more minutes left here. So if
okay, Jamie. So after my partner comes back to the locker room, we got our bags ready. We're getting ready to leave because we're still in our gimmicks and everything, our wrestling outfits, and we're thinking, yeah, we better get out of here because when these guys go out of the ring, they're not going to be happy. Well, anyway, there's a lady wrestler. She tried stopping us, but we got in my buddy's Cadillac. We got in the parking lot and we left. So anyway, we're driving down the interstate, and we're getting ready to go back to our motel room so we can get our personal effects and go back to Tampa. You know, because we were done. We were done with these people up there for what that guy, you know, for them condoning what the Moondog had done to me the night before. Well, anywho, all of a sudden we're going down the interstate and we got flashed by a beam of light, and it came from a highway patrol. And my buddy says, "Oh, they spotted us." I'm thinking, what? We didn't do nothing wrong. What do you mean they spotted us? And all of a sudden we got a highway patrol behind us. I says, Kenny, don't pull over on the interstate. Pull off, get off on this exit, and let's go to this gas station that's nice and lit up. So anyway, we got to the gas station, and by that time there's 4 or 5 patrol cars behind us, and they had us surrounded at gunpoint, and they're yelling at us, "Put your hands up! Put your hands up!" And we got our hands up. Don't move! And I'm going, oh crap! And well, anyway, get out of the car! And I'm over there trying to get my seatbelt off. The police officer says, "I told you not to move." I almost got shot. I said, "Officer, I'm trying to get my seatbelt off." So anyway, we got out of the car. They patted us down. We're still in our wrestling gimmicks, so our long tights, our Star Riders gimmick and stuff. Well, anyway, And you're thinking, what the hell is this about? Well, anyway, the officers, we just got a report that you just robbed the Coliseum at gunpoint. Well, anyway, they went through my buddy's car and they found a gun. And we're going, oh crap, this is getting better and better and better. Well, anyway, the captain came along. I was able to get him off to the side and started talking to him and tell him exactly what had happened with this wrestling promotion and about how I got injured the night before by one of these moondogs plastering me in the head with a chair. And then I explained to him what I did to him this night because, a tit for a tat. And I said, officer, I did this in the ring just to where, if I would have done it in the locker room, I'd probably be under arrest right now. And I says, things happen in the ring. And he kind of put two and two together. And we told him we were going back to our motel room to get our personal effects. He you know what he told us? He says, boys, if I was y'all, I'd go on and get on out of here. He meant leave the state. He says, if you boys go back there, if they get a hold of you, there ain't nothing we can do about it. He meant the local police.
Uh-huh.
And well, anyway, we took it as advice. We got back in the car, he took the gun up. Because up there, if you had a gun in your vehicle, they were going to arrest him just for having a gun in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
He took the gun apart, he put it in the back of the trunk, and he gave me the bullets. He says, you got to get rid of them. I was going to throw them in the garbage can. He says, oh, no, you can't do that. So I gave him to the store owner, and we were able to leave. Well, anyway, driving back, we were in such a hurry to get out of there. We're going down some back roads, too. And it's not like in Florida where they got bridges everywhere. We're going so fast that we almost ran into the Mississippi River. Well, anyway, we got back. The next night, we called up the motel room to get our personal effects, and the lady at the motel room says, what did you guys do? There was all kind of police officers and about 10 wrestlers over here waiting for you guys. So anyway, I guess they had bad things in mind for us. So anyway, when we got back, I talked to Gordon Soley about this, and he was going to sanction a match between us and anybody they wanted to send down here to get in the ring with the Star Riders, but they never did. I mean, if they would have been in our neck of the woods, I would have said, oh, well, you're in our neighborhood now, guys.
Yeah, so all the people out there that think that business is fake, you tell a pretty good story. I mean, it's pretty rough in the business.
I'll tell you what, when push comes to shove like that, if you can't take care of yourself, you have no business being in the ring, and there are guys out there that will hurt you.
When did all that go on? That was in the 80s?
That was about 89.
89 and stuff.
But what's even better, I was telling Dr. Tom Pritchard this story at Steve Kern's wrestling studio, and he stopped me. He stopped me in mid. He says, and he finished the story, and he told me, you know something? There's something you don't know about what happened after the match. He said his partner Moondog Cujo came out in the parking lot with a .357 Magnum looking for you guys.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Well, anyway.
Crazy stuff. Well, we got about a minute left. That's a great story, and I appreciate you sharing that with the audience and everything. Jim, I know Charlie took all of your time here, but
it's all right. That's what we bring him. We work together every day. So if
I think that was more entertaining than talking about plumbing, anyways.
Absolutely.
Hey, remember, always hired a licensed and insured construction professionals, and you won't go wrong. The big thing being, you know what? Sometimes the pros can make a mistake, but the people are protected. They have that insurance. And you know what? You might pay somebody half the price, but then again, you might have to have it done twice. And if they flood your house, or if they burn it down and don't have insurance, what are you going to do?
And you'll get some more entertaining stories from Charlie the Plumber as well if you reach out to Jim Yeager over at Yeager & Company. Learn more about their company over at YeagerFlooring.com. Jim, Charlie, thank you all very much.
Hey, when I'm on here next, can Dr. Robin analyze me?
Yeah, if we had more time, we could get a Robin in on this, too. Yeah, she's sitting here just laughing away at this great story. Hope everybody has a great day. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Have a great day, everybody.